What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, and today I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the significance of the Carolina at Atlanta game this coming weekend. Because Thursday night football, I went to bed, the score was 10-3 Tampa Bay. They looked like the stronger team. First quarter was completely Tampa Bay. I thought that they were going to run all over it because they got that blocked field goal going into the half. And it just really looked like Tampa Bay's game in Tampa Bay. And I woke up to an amazing surprise that the third quarter belonged completely to the Ravens, and the fourth quarter showed them separate by 2 scores that the Buccaneers could never overcome. So, with that loss, the Falcons, 3-4. Now, still, every team in our division has a losing record, but the 3-4 Falcons are now the sole owners of first place in the NFC South. Had you asked me going into week 8, preseason, before we knew that we were going to be this good running team, before we knew that we were going to have somewhat of an identity on both defense and offense, when it really looked like we were going to be kneecapped by the fact that literally 1/3 of our entire salary cap is going to players that do not exist on our team anymore. Matt Ryan, who's now done for the season, being replaced by Sam Ehlinger. With Julio Jones got a touchdown late in the game yesterday, but has been off of our roster for 2 years, getting $15.5 million. With Dante Fowler getting $4.5 million not to play for us, and then a ton of other dink and dunk few $100,000 to $1 million contracts. Had you told me at the beginning of the season that we would be 3-4 going into week 8 in our probably most important stretch of games that are fairly winnable, had you told me that we would be the sole owners of first place, I would have laughed in your face and said, there is no way in hell we will be first place in the division. I could not have been more wrong. This year is absolute chaos. It is bedlam, and I love it. Never have I seen more parity within the NFL. This is exactly what should happen. The bad teams are rising up as the teams that have had established historic quarterbacks are starting to kind of go back down a little bit. So we're finally starting to see a little bit more parity within the NFL, which I think is a great thing. Now, specifically talking about the Falcons, this weekend has so much significance now. This is a game that when you looked at it at the beginning of the year, you're thinking if you're urinating tree, you're like, oh, well, tank bowl part whatever at that point. Credit to the guys at Clickbait Sports, all of them. They have been just absolutely killing it with their rhetoric on this season. It's a great show on Thursdays. I do recommend people, if you can't do the live stream, which I often can't, to go and watch it after. It's usually about an hour with 5 really prominent YouTubers who are all just absolutely great at what they do. They're all fun content creators, and I do recommend all of them. But let's talk about the Falcons here, our stretch coming up. So again, this is a very, very, very winnable stretch if you just look at what we've got coming up. So the problem here is we have 3 games in a 12-day time frame because we play Carolina twice in that time frame. We'll play them on Sunday at 1 o'clock, and then we play them again 2 weeks later on November 10th for Thursday night football in Carolina. So it is going to be tough. But we've got Carolina, very winnable. They don't have Robbie Anderson. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. They don't have a solid quarterback room. They did have P.J. Walker playing out of his mind this past week. But if we go back and we look at their game against Tampa Bay and just kind of look at it from a stats perspective, what you'll end up seeing here is you had P.J. Walker. He only threw for 177 yards. He didn't throw for a ton, and they did manage to run for 173 yards. Falcons are a top rushing defense in the league. We have done incredibly well at holding teams throughout most of a game rushing the ball. We've been able to make them throw the ball, which has been a really big problem for us. And I do look for DJ Moore to have a big week on us this week as we are missing several of our corners here. Just kind of looking here, the Falcons injury report. I know A.J. Terrell is, our top corner. He's a guy that I'm not sure will be playing this week. It seems like that's unlikely to happen. Let's see here. Who all is hurt? You have A.J. Terrell hurt. You had Jalen Hawkins, who had a concussion. He was hurt. Neither of them practiced on Wednesday or Thursday this week, so it's unlikely that they're going to be playing. D. Alford, one of our defensive backs as well, he's had a hamstring injury. He was limited all week. He probably will play. You've got Caleb Huntley, who has been a little sick. He didn't play on Thursday. So we're going to be possibly down a running back. Hopefully he gets better. But, we're a little banged up right now in the corner position, and the ones that we do have left are not particularly great. We'll see what happens here. We should be getting, I believe Casey Hayward's coming back. Let's just double check that real quick. Casey Hayward, injury. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. He's on injured reserve. I totally forgot he's on injured reserve. So we won't have him. So we're missing our top two corners. So we're going to have trouble defending the pass there. But again, we are still looking to be a solid running team. This is going to be a good game for the Falcons' run team. We do get Damian Williams back. He should be back in the mix. We will have Tyler Algier. We have Avery Williams, who's been kind of a breakout on special teams and has produced some decent return when put into the run game as well. So I look for this to be a game where the Falcons are favored to win. America, it looks like, tends to agree with that. But again, we played them twice in a very short time frame here. So we have two games that are very winnable. And then we have the Chargers, who do not look good right now. They just had Mike Williams go out for the season with injury. They're going to be tough to run on because of Khalil Mack there. But you still have a very winnable game. Keenan Allen hasn't been particularly great. Austin Eckler is most of their offense right now. And again, we have a great run defense. Not so good in check down, though. We're not great at stopping check down passes. So that's something that I think can be a problem for us. Again, Panthers right after that. Then we have 10 days off before we play the Bears at home. Very, very winnable game, even though they had a great game plan against the New England Patriots. I still think right now that's a winnable game. That could change in 4 weeks. We get the Commies at Washington on November 27th. I've been kind of terrified of that game because they do have a competent offense, just not as good of a defense. And then the other thing with the Commies is we are going to them in November, which is where the vast majority of lower extremity injuries happen at FedEx Field, is in that November-December run. Most of your career-altering, life-changing events for players have happened during that time span. But that's still a winnable game. Steelers, we get them at home on 12-4. That's a winnable game. Then we go into a bye before we finish up with the Saints, Ravens, Cardinals, and Bucs. Saints is winnable. It is in New Orleans. Tougher game there. Ravens, they're not playing the best football in the world, but they could kind of right the ship a little bit. They've already started that process by beating Tampa Bay coming out in the second half last night. So that's a winnable game right now on paper. The Cardinals, incredibly winnable game on paper. And Buccaneers, we had a shot against them. We really did. We had a shot against them when we first played them. We get them at home to close out the year. Every single game, the way the Falcons have been playing, except for our Bengals game, which I think, looking at it now, besides the Ravens, that may be the best quarterback that we played the rest of the way here. Maybe the Chargers, but they're missing so many weapons. But the Falcons are in sole possession of first place. Tampa Bay does not look good. Carolina doesn't look great. The Saints are reeling. They've been out of most of the games they've been playing. Had we managed to beat them in the first week, we would be clearly the best team in the division. I don't know that our division is all that good. Definitely, I think only one team is going to come out for playoffs at this point. It's going to be the division winner. So somebody from this division is going to get a home game in the wild card week, and it might as well be the Falcons. So I am riding high on our Falcons, on our Dirty Birds right now. Let me know what you guys think about the significance of the schedule coming up. Let me know if you have any thoughts about Carolina, about any of our teams. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would love to start getting those and reading them, responding to them. I'd love to engage with the community out there. But again, thanks for watching. Consider liking the video if you enjoy this content. If you're a big Dirty Bird fan, that would also mean a lot to me. Consider subscribing. That will also help me grow. But until next time, guys, it is a great day to wake up as a Falcon. And as always, rise up.